Hello, beloved. It's me, James, and it's that time for us to do sacred reading together. Now, if you're wondering what sacred reading is, because this is your first time seeing this, sacred reading is based on the belief that Spirit can speak to us through a sacred text. And so we read the text believing and with the anticipation that somehow through a word, an image, or a phrase that rises up in that text, we will hear and know that Spirit is calling us out, encouraging us, helping us, reminding us of something we need to know. So as we do sacred reading, the text today that we're reading from is the first letter of John. And as we read a couple of verses at a time, we listen deeply, not just with our ears, but with our heart, with the anticipation that the resonance, the vibration deep in our soul will tell us that this sounds true. This is what I need now. It's different than Bible study. We're not pulling out a bunch of commentaries and getting behind perhaps what the author may have meant and who the author actually was, those kinds of things. Those are good things to do. But with sacred reading, we listen, and perhaps mirrored in the text and in our heart and through the movement of the Spirit within us, we hear what we need to hear in that given moment. Now, if you're doing this on your own, which I encourage you to do, read it aloud. Read it aloud to yourself, and read it aloud to yourself once, twice, 3 times, each time pausing between to listen for what it may say. When we do this together, in order to keep it within a shorter time frame, I just read it aloud once. We pause, and then you can stop right then. Go and determine what it might be saying to you. But if you hang on for a second, and that's your choice, I will speak into the moment what I heard in the moment I was reading the text to you. So listen, if you will, to the sacred text. It's a wonderful practice, but we do it weekly here in this spot. You can do it every day or more than once a day if you wish, listening for what Spirit may speak to you. Today we're looking at 1 John chapter 4, and we're in verses 16 and 17. So listen with me, if you would, for a word from Spirit. We have come to know and trust the love Creator has for us. The great Spirit is love. He remains in those who love and keep on loving, and they remain in him. Love is made complete in us so that we will stand without fear on the day Creator decides who has done right and wrong. For in this world, when we love as Creator loves, we are just like him. If you've been following along in the readings from this first letter of John, you know that we keep coming back to the same theme: love. Over and over again, love. And it's about knowing God. But today there's a little flavor that I appreciate. There is a statement that I think is very important to hear, and that is that God is love. Not God has love, but God is love. So that when I love truly and deeply, in whatever form that love takes, when it reflects the love of God, then I truly do know God, because I'm knowing God in the loving. So often, I guess I think of knowing, perhaps we all do, we think of knowing as something we do with our head, with our mind, knowing something. Perhaps, though, there's only so much we can know about God with our heads. And perhaps the only true and deepest knowing of God is when we love. Because when we love, we are just like God. For when we love as God loves, we are just like God. And in those moments, we taste the divine. We taste the movement of spirit in us when we are loving. I think it would do well for me to remember to love openly and freely, to love what and whom God loves, which is everything and everyone. And when I do, to be reminded what a gift it is to love, because in doing so, perhaps I come the closest to God I ever am. And God is already closer than my breath. The closest I come to truly knowing God is when I love, for God is love, that which is relationship between me and that other. So don't lose sight of love in your life. Remember and live out love. Be love. Let love live in you and flow from you and flow through you. For that is the divine way. It is the way that reveals God in the world. Love. Love. Well, my friends, until the next time I am back with the sacred reading, I wish you all the very best. Remember, you are infinitely precious and unconditionally loved for the gift you already are. Until the next time.